Good afternoon and welcome to Lumonic and to the presentation of our newly launched LED zoom spotlight. Now, before getting into the sort of nitty-gritty of some of the patented technology that we're introducing that are showing this product, I'm just going to go through some of the sort of design innovations that we brought into the product. We've tried to break the mould and not do a sort of Me Too type LED product, and really listen to lighting designers and hire companies of actually the styling of the product. We're trying to be very innovative in terms of the aesthetic design of the product, and as you can see from this unit here, we've actually got a slope back on the unit, and that's, for instance, if the unit is used as an uplighter, normally a product would have its user interface pointing towards the ground. So to make it easier, we've actually done aesthetically the slope on the back, which actually presents the back of the product towards the user. And it also works in reverse. For instance, the product over there, which obviously when hung, if you're at the top of a set of Zardias trying to rig the product, again, the connectivity and the user interface is normally pointing up. So we've been a bit innovative in terms of styling and actually angle the product down to make, again, the product more accessible to the operator. Also, in terms of the functionality of the user interface, is one of the issues companies have is in multiple menus within a fixture, is having to go through multiple menus to set up master intensities, dimmer curves, etc., etc. We've introduced personalities, which I can scroll through the menu, and you go to the personality menu, which then you just select a personality number, and that is being designed to mimic the sort of personality you actually program into your lighting desk. So if you select, personality 5 on the product, that actually automatically configures whether you've got master intensity, whether you've got a certain dimmer curve selected, what mode it's in. You then patch personality 5 into your lighting desk, things will work. I've taken technical support calls for many years when people say, "Oh, my product's not working," and it's because certain product mode has not been configured correctly. And on here, to make it, although there's a lot of functionality in the product, is to present it as simple as possible to the users. And again, we're innovative in actually, when you set the personality, it does actually tell you the number of channels, what each of the channels does. So again, for technicians, it's like a little mini user manual on the back of the product. Typical function, we've basically done a wish list of what lighting designers and hire companies offered. And in terms of functionality, we offer everything an LED product is required. DMX, we've got options for wireless DMX, Ethernet for user configuration and for boot loading. Bit about the product technically, four channel RGB white LEDs, and the key of the product is the colour control within the unit. And this is where some of the patents we've got pending on this unit. Some of the biggest problems with LEDs is in colour calibration within fixtures. In the early days, you would just buy your LEDs from the manufacturer, you would get a spread of different wavelength bins, and it was pot luck when you brought your red channel up on the desk, what red you got. Same with the greens, same with the blues, and you just got a mismatch of colours. And also not only the wavelength spreads, but also in the white balance, because you got an intensity variation in the bins. When you went to do a white, colours weren't being mixed in the right levels, and you wouldn't get a proper white out of the fixture. Recent times, companies have started to say their fixtures are colour calibrated. What that generally means is that it's calibrated to an internal company standard. So for instance, if you bring up the red channel or the green channel on the desk for company manufacturer A, you will get a certain green out of the product. If you bring your green fader on the desk up with company Y, you will get another green. It doesn't, although they say that fixtures are calibrated, it doesn't actually mean they're calibrated amongst any industry standard. It's just within a manufacturer or a product range. And also, for instance, when you go to a lighting desk and you go to a colour picker, you may say pick a yellow off a colour picker on a lighting desk. All that's going to do is set the red channel and the green channel to 255. That doesn't necessarily give the yellow that you're after, because that's dependent on the red and the green which is in the product. So one of our innovations in this unit is what we call colour match, which is patent pending, is the ability to set the primary colours within the product. So you can actually go into the user interface, and if you go into the colour menu, you get an option of red, green and blue. Now, although we have got white LEDs in the product, again, the software in real time is actually calculating how to add the white in. So it actually presents the user with a standard 3-channel RGB control on the product. If you then go, for instance, into the primary green, you can then set, the fixture actually shows you the green that you're actually calibrating. You can then set that green either by an XY colour coordinate, so you can sort of go into a LED swatch book, get an XY coordinate, or we're actually building up a list of predefined swatch colours in there. When that's set up, you can go through the red, the green, the blue. When you bring up the red fader, the green fader, or the blue fader on the desk, they are the primaries you get. And that means that if you've got whether it's another LED product, whether it's another moving head, which has got a certain colour palette, you can match this output to that. So again, for hire companies who are trying to mix in and matching products and are getting between different manufacturers, different colours, they can take this product and they can ensure that the colours are then consistent among all the product ranges. We're also, in terms of the innovation on the colours, is what we're classing as a colour crossfade engine, and this was driven by listening to sort of TV and studio lighting designers who like the idea of inbuilt colour palettes. They like nice, quick and easy of selecting colours, but the problem with that is if you got 2 different colours you're wanting to crossfade between, one might be at the top of your DMX channel, one down the bottom. As you fade between the 2 colours, you've got 2 options. You either fade between and output the intermediate colours as you move the channel down, or you have to black out the fixture, change the colour palette you're fetching, and then bring up the master intensity again. We've actually got a system in here with our colour engine where we present the colour palette on two different faders, which allow you to select the colour you're at from the inbuilt colour palette, and then the colour palette that you want to go to, and the unit will then crossfade between those colours and eliminate all the intermediate colours that you would normally get by just having a standard fixture. Yeah. So what I've just now, we're running a personality in the fixture that's just actually activated the internal colour palette. Again, we actually support everything from HSI modes, colour palette, raw, just where you're driving the LEDs directly, or fully calibrated mode. This is now put the fixture into colour palette mode. So we have got, just by going through the different colour palettes that are in there. Now normally if you're trying to fade from one to another, you would get all the intermediates in there. What you can do if you want to now, on this fixture, select, say there, just move the fade. We then, on the other fader, we've now got the same colour palette again, and that could actually be another custom colour palette that the user uploads into the fixture. And then we have a crossfade that then just goes straight between the 2 colours in the palette. So you've got the option of selecting preloaded palettes and being able to crossfade between the 2. Again, with the going back to the colour match functionality, again you can set the primaries, but again that also works with the white point of the fixture as well. Whatever the primaries are set up in the product, when you bring your 3 channels to full, the internal software you can define either through a setting on the back, or if a personality's got a DMX fader associated with it, you can then change that white point as well. So again, for users, you've got the peace of mind that not only have you got the colour calibration right within fixtures, but also you can define and get an absolute accurate white point rather than just being a potluck when you bring your three channels to the